What projects are you most looking forward to in 2023 and 2024? I have one that I'm just dying to talk about. I actually don't know how you feel about this. I would love to discuss it. I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan, and I'm pumped for Indiana Jones 5. It's my most anticipated movie of the year. I know when they released the budget for that film, I think I saw on Twitter you were like, I'm not sure how I feel about that. So I would love to talk about that one. How are you feeling about Indy 5?
I'm all over the place on this movie.
Okay.
For all the reasons. So it's Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy. I don't trust them right now. But it's James Mangold. Ford versus Ferrari. I think that was my favorite movie, whatever year that was. And Logan. He did Copland 20 years ago. This guy has done a bunch of movies I've loved. 310 to Yuma. So I really trust him. But not Lucasfilm. And then that trailer plays. A little bit more Indiana Jones. It hits those notes. And it gets my heart going. At the same time, I look at that trailer and I go, it's too much CGI. It's too much green screen. And for me, that violates the principle of the series when you start going in that direction with it. And even to that point, you can't have an 80-year-old man on a motorcycle in the middle of a crowd. That's a bad idea. But even to that point, if Harrison Ford can't do it anymore, that probably is to say that the fantasy of Indiana Jones, it's like the dream of every guy to be intelligent, but also be the man that when called into action, you can be the hero that kills Nazis and get the girl in the end. That's the fantasy of it. I don't know if that translates to an 80-year-old man that'll break his ankle. So I've got all these different feelings. So I'm so excited to see it and so nervous to see it.
I feel that. It's again, my most anticipated movie of the year. And I worry, I've told people who follow me, last year this was Obi-Wan Kenobi for me. That was I was just over the moon excited. Massive letdown for me personally. So I hope this isn't a repeat
Agreed.
of that. But I am one of the, and I don't know how you feel about this movie, I actually like Crystal Skull. I was 8 when it came out. I saw it with my dad. Nostalgia reigns supreme there, so I am very self-aware of that. It is the worst indie movie for me. But the way I look at it is, we've got James Mangold coming in. We've got fresh blood. I've dug all the trailers and marketing for this movie. I think it's going to be a hit. And I saw Spielberg saw the movie, and he said, I thought I was the only one who could make a great Indiana Jones movie. So that excites me. I just have a good feeling about it, but I totally see some skepticism with Kathleen Kennedy because I have just not loved a lot of new Star Wars stuff lately, especially the movies. I really want to love this movie, and it would be heartbreaking if it was a letdown. My fear is that there's going to be some time travel element to the movie,
Right.
And that's where I just have to see it to believe it and see how I feel about the way it plays out. That just doesn't sound right. So I see what you're saying when you say it could betray what the franchise is based on.
It's that stuff. You watch the trailer and it hits all the right notes, the music cues, the interactions with Sala.
Yeah.
Man, that looks so good. But there's still a lot of places where this could go off the rails and get crazy. So speaking of most looking forward to, I want to throw one out there. There's one coming out later this year in September called The Creator. It is directed by Gareth Edwards. Godzilla and Rogue One.
Rogue One, yeah.
Hasn't really done much since then. It's a new sci-fi epic. John David Washington is the lead. You got Ken Watanabe in there. I've got a friend that saw it at a press screening last week. Says it's awesome. And I heard coming out of CinemaCon, I guess they played some footage, and someone said this thing looks massive in scope and scale, size. And it's okay, I can't wait to see the trailer for it. And then I got the text a few days later from my guy that was at a test screening. He says it's fantastic.
Okay.
And an original sci-fi epic. All right, immediately you're in my top. And from the guy that did Rogue One, and I liked his Godzilla. I mean, it had some issues, but I like, generally speaking, I like what he brings to the table, the aesthetic that his movies have. Doing a big, grand scale sci-fi epic. That was top 5 most anticipated for me.
I was going to say, too, with John David Washington at the forefront, I like him a lot. That sounds like, he was the headliner actor in Tenet, which I'm a fan of. So that sounds like something I would definitely enjoy. In fact, I actually didn't know that was coming out until you just now
Exactly.
it.
I hadn't heard anything about it.
That sounds like it's going to go under the radar.
Yeah. And I mean, it's very early in the process, everything, but so I saw one tweet about it after CinemaCon. I think one guy tweeted about it and I went, oh, that was the first it was on my radar. And then I got this text from the guy. This is what my friend said. Put it on your most anticipated list. Done. Absolutely awesome. Sci-fi on a massive level. The scale is insane. For test screenings, they do focus groups with 20 to 30 people. They tend to have a wide variety of reactions. The guy struggled to find someone who rated it anything under very good, or excellent. And he goes to a lot of these. A lot of these.
So that's very, very promising.
This is that's why like as soon as like, what are you most anticipating? We've all Across the Spider-Verse, obviously, Mission Impossible, obviously. No one's talking about this movie, so let's start talking about it.